Right, this is, I don't know what episode it is, but this is the Leg It podcast, and we're back where we originally started the podcast because of all this, I don't want to say the word, and we kind of agreed not to talk about it, didn't we? So
I think we'll have 2 minutes of moaning about it and then...
knock it on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're
back in my house.
Yeah.
We've had John Bishop here, we've had Jockey here. Who else did we have here?
I think the first 12 episodes...
Jamie
Burdikin, yeah. I think the first 12 episodes we did it at your house with the Jamie Carragher Liverpool shirt and Alonso shirt.
Yeah.
So the first 12 episodes we did, and it feels... I obviously went to go and collect the equipment before, which feels a bit strange. It's all a bit mental. Everyone's fucking lost their head.
Yeah. I think as well with the episodes now, one thing which I spoke to you about over text, we need to do, I think, because we just sit down and we just start going straight into it. I think one thing we'll start doing with the podcast is just giving a little 30-second brief of what we're going to be talking about this week. Because like, I know I've got a friend and she listens to it, but then sometimes 20 minutes in, she's like, who's this person they're interviewing? So we'll start doing that on the podcast. I'm sorry if that's annoyed people in the past. But for this episode, it's just going to be me and you.
Yeah.
Just putting a whale to rights.
Can I just ask, because we didn't get to talk about it, but you went to Vegas with your dad, didn't you? What was that whole...
It was unbelievable. So my dad retired from the fire brigade in December, and he's always wanted to go to Vegas. He's never been to America. And we said we'd do a lot of like dad and lad things, dad and lad trips. And I'm quite close to him anyway, but to go to Vegas was obviously... trip of a lifetime. So we went to Madrid first. I've done 2 nights in Madrid, and then back from Madrid and went to Vegas. We went to Madrid for the football. And I think as a fan of the podcast, actually, I massively owe so many people, by the way, for this podcast, because, this is crazy. So I'm in Madrid, and we were getting a flight the next day after the football, Wednesday morning, back to London to catch a flight to Vegas. And the match finished at 11, and then we needed to get back to the hotel, and we were getting picked up at 5 in the morning. We got kept in the ground for about 45 minutes, so there was no trouble. And then where our hotel was, it was quite close to the ground, but it was impossible to get public transport there. It was either a taxi or walk, but you couldn't walk because it was like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like highways and flyovers and stuff. Mate, but it's now 1 in the morning, and I'm still waiting for a taxi. I'm there in shorts and t-shirt, and my leg is hanging out because I've just been on it all day. And I'm there, and some guy comes up to me who I'm sure he listens to the podcast, and he follows me on Twitter, and he said, it's Andy, isn't it? And I said, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I had shorts on, so it was quite obvious. But and he let me jump in his Uber.
Did he?
Oh, mate, I reckon I'd still be standing there now in the middle of Madrid. It was fucking horrendous, mate. 1 in the morning, there's about 10 people waiting for taxis. It was just nothing going on. And a guy said, yeah, mate, you can jump in my Uber.
Fucking hell, that's mad, isn't it?
And he was just listening to the podcast. So, mate, thank you so much for that. I said thanks to him on Twitter and stuff, but yeah. Yeah, and then we went to London, had a couple hours in London, and then flew to Vegas.
I've never been to Vegas, but it's one of the...
That was my 4th time. It's fucking amazing.
Is it?
Yeah.
And you went during the Fury fight, didn't you?
Yeah, although went there because of the fight and then didn't end up even watching it. Never mind seeing it. No, I went to the weigh-in. That was quite cool. But they wanted like $700 a ticket. And I possibly would have paid it, but my dad's just not into boxing. So my dad's like, I'm not fucking paying $700. And then over in America, I don't know if you know this, but especially in Vegas anyway, you know, if there's a big Anthony Joshua fight on, you could go to a pub, couldn't you, and watch it?
For free.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah.
Over there, they have closed circuit pay-per-view. So like a club will buy it. Now, so then for you to get into that club, you have to pay. So already you're in Vegas, so it's like $15 for a bottle of Corona or something. Or
is that how much?
Yeah.
Is it not cheap?
No.
See, I always had Vegas as like, I remember people always telling that, oh yeah, if you're a big spender, like you can just sit at the tables and they just bring free
if you're gambling.
If you're gambling,
it's free.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go into a bar, you're talking minimum $11, $12 a bottle of beer.
Jesus.
And some of the nicer hotels, it's $15.
So if you're at a table, like what? I suppose it depends what table you're at, doesn't it? But like, can you sort of
you could
scam the system as such as it just. It
depends what hotel you're in as well,
right?
And stuff, but yeah, if you're like, you can just play like the dollar fruit machines.
And they'll bring the
and they'll
beers
bring you
over.
still bring your beer over, yeah.
For free?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it.
And you can ask for like a double vodka or something if you wanted.
Really?
Yeah, and they still bring it over, yeah. But if you go to a bar, just say you don't want to gamble or you don't like gambling, and you just went to a bar, then it's $10, $15 a bottle.
Jesus.
So me and my dad then were faced with, we're not going to pay $700. So it would have been like, say, $1,500 for two of us to go and watch the fight. We ain't going to do that. So we said we'll go to a bar and watch it. So then for two of us to get into a bar to watch it, you were looking at $150 for us both just to get in. And then you'd have to buy beers. So just to go in to a bar and watch and have one beer for two of us, it was what, $180? And my dad was just like, I'm not fucking paying that. So we ended up going to just a normal bar, and I just watched it on Twitter, like, you know, watch the like update, people updating it. Which I wasn't that bothered though, to be fair.
Well, you're not, no.
Well, it would have been good to have seen it, don't get me wrong, but it fucking didn't ruin me trip, put it that way.
I suppose, yeah. I do remember seeing you on Instagram quite a lot. I think because it's so weird when someone's 8 or 9 hours behind.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think I told you actually, it was like lunchtime or something on I don't know, just a lunchtime. And I think you were there still absolutely
pissed as a fart. Yeah.
Just walking this mad that.
We done so I took my dad, we done the Grand Canyon. It's expensive for anyone who's going or wants kind of travel advice, if you like, for Vegas. It's I think I paid about $500. It was about $500 each, so it is expensive. But you go there, it's like a 40-minute ride to the Grand Canyon. He stopped down in the canyon, had some food, a glass of champagne, and then flew back. If you want to go to the canyon and don't do that, you're looking at like a 4 or 5 hour drive there and a 4 or 5 hour drive back.
Really?
So you're wasting a whole day. Whereas I was back in my hotel by 10 in the morning.
Yeah, done and dusted.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of money, but it's fucking cool as well. In a helicopter and that, going over the canyon. It was amazing. So we done that. Took him to the Beatles show. That was really cool. But again, really expensive. But
so someone said to me that when the actual flights and the hotels are really cheap to get, as in they're pretty inexpensive, as in they're not mental.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
but it's the spending money that you spend. It's just mental.
So, for example, like breakdown of my 300 quid the flights cost me return.
Is that it?
Yeah. So 300 quid return. I got my flight for
from Heathrow.
From Heathrow, yeah. And the hotel, me and my dad stayed in at the Wynn, which is probably one of the best hotels there. And we were paying, it was £240 a night for both of us. So 120 quid a night each.
Double room?
Yeah, 2 beds, 2 queen size beds. But you can get them a lot cheaper. Like, the only reason, not trying to be all like, who stayed in the best one. We done it because it's my dad's first time. It was his retirement due, so he was like, fuck it, I want to stay in the best hotel. So we stayed at the Wynn. But even my dad said, going back, he wouldn't stay at the Wynn again because you're only sleeping there. Do you know what I mean? You can stay anywhere. You can still go to the Wynn. You can still have the food there. You can still gamble there. You can still drink there. It's just where you're sleeping. So probably if I go again, I'd stay somewhere else. Maybe Caesar's Palace or something.
So when you walk down like to breakfast, do you go past the casinos? And you can. So if you're there,
as soon as you come out the lift, it's there.
Because obviously they want to grab you as soon as they can. And then so if you're going for breakfast at like 8 o'clock, 8:30, you still people see.
What was a funny morning I had was my dad finished about 5:30 in the morning, but I was still going, and we got it was at the table that's quite close to the my lift to go to bed. And anyway, I'm there playing. You just lose track of time. I know everyone's so cliche, isn't it? But you do. You just forget what time it is. And I knew it was like maybe 5, 6 in the morning or something.
Can you not see daylight? There's obviously no windows, is there?
No.
So you've no idea of light.
No. Yeah. Only if you're looking at your watch. Well, it's looking at your watch, or you're not even allowed to get your phone out though at the table.
Oh, you're not?
Because you're not allowed to record it.
Right, yeah.
But most days, that's how people look at their. I've got a watch on, but you look at your phone for the time, don't you? Really?
Yeah.
So you don't really get your phone out because you're not allowed. So anyway, so you're just there, and I was fucking bladdered, and then some guy, and it's just everyone's so American. It's again just like, hey man, it's all like that. And I was thinking it was still like night, if you like. And a guy sat down on the craps table I was at, and I was like, all right mate, you have a good night. And he was like, had a good night. man, it's 8 a.m. I've just woken up. And I was like,
Shit.
fuck. And it was like, anyway, I went to bed like 8:45. But it's just
Completely,
amazing.
yeah.
And what's embarrassing is you may finish gambling at like 5, 6, 7 in the morning, go to bed for a few hours, you wake up, and if you're anything like me, you just forget most of the night if you're pissed. But you're walking back, and all these people who you've been gambling with are like, "Hey Andy, you okay?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, it was just a really good trip. We caught up with another couple of lads we know out there. What else did we do? Just the Vegas kind of thing. Maybe we were only there 5 days and it just flew. Just completely
5 days
flew.
a long time though in Vegas.
You say that, mate, but you're just doing stuff all the time.
Oh, is it?
You're just socialising, you're just drinking and eating and walking around, and you're just in all of the place. It's just like a Disneyland for adults, isn't it?
Did you get the chance to upgrade or anything through? I know you're a big fan of sort of like
in the airport? No, that fuck no. That's what caused me to get an infection on my leg because you're in like cattle class economy. You're just sitting like your leg. You know what it's like. Your legs are kind of.
No.
And it's because we had so many flights. So we flew from London to Madrid, Madrid to London, London to Salt Lake City, Salt Lake City to Vegas, Vegas to Seattle, Seattle to London.
Jesus.
And obviously,
that's probably why they were 300 quid then.
Yeah, exactly. But mate, I normally, again, you know, we've knocked it in the past, all this 5 a.m. club and stuff. Mate, I sleep at 9 or 10 hours a night. I fucking love my sleep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they say, like, as an amputee, I use 150% more energy because I've lost my leg below the knee. So I reckon I need that 8, 9, 10 hours of off my leg. Do you know what I mean? Just to, I don't know. Just,
recoup. Yeah.
So, but out in Vegas, mate, I was getting like 4 hours sleep a night for like 5 or 6 nights. Sorry, and in Vegas, in Madrid as well. And I was on the ale every fucking day. So when I got to the end of it, added to the fact the flights, mate, I was just writ off completely.
You couldn't walk?
No, I had a cut on my leg and the cut had got infected. And on the second to last day, my dad had to go and buy a walking stick in Vegas. And then on the last day when we were checking out, I couldn't even put my leg on.
Really?
So it didn't ruin the trip because thankfully it came at the end of it. But it was a bit shit. So I had to buy crutches. A funny story about this country, by the way. So I got back. I had to buy American crutches, but those old school. You know, when like you see
in movies,
under the armpit, they're horrible to use, and these didn't fit me. So anyway, I'm using them. But then I'm having to go through all the airports. My dad's having to carry my suitcase and my leg. Like, it was fucking funny. And then when we got to London, we had to go on the tube on these crutches. It was just a fucking nightmare. And then finally got home. I went to the doctors to get crutches, and then they have to send a like a thing to the hospital to kind of what's it called? Like you have to like you couldn't just turn up at A&E and say I need crutches. You'd have to get an appointment or be referred to them.
Yeah.
They couldn't refer me because it wasn't. I would have had to wait 6 weeks to go to an orthopedic appointment to kind of say I've lost my leg. So they were like, "This is, you know." So I did end up getting crutches,
right?
Which meant, which I think is a really important thing to talk about now, which kind of left me in a. This was before Corona broke out. Left me in a bit of isolation because I'm now off my leg. I've got an infection. I can't put my leg on. I've got crutches that really work. And I hate people seeing me on off my leg. Like I've like built up this image, if you like, of, you know, being this, I don't know, hopefully inspiring person, and I hate people to see me feeling fed up and moping around and stuff like that. So I got back from Vegas, and I think it was a bit of holiday blues, a bit of like back to reality, and I just felt so fed up being off my leg. Like, you can't even make a cup of tea.
It's mad, isn't it?
You can't even, like, you just take for granted walking. Like, it was literally walking. Like, the most simplest of tasks you can't do anymore. And I just felt so fed up. I wasn't fucking, like, depressed or nothing, but was just, like, proper in a rut. Which brings on my thanks to you, because you sent me a couple of books.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, mate, it's times when you are feeling down, you know, you see like your friends are and who care for you. I mean, you sending me like those couple of books and like the amount of messages I had, and I didn't do it to be like, oh God, I'm feeling down. I was just like,
because some people,
some people are like, it's like that old thing. I don't do Facebook no more, but it was like that thing on Facebook where it's been like, oh, I've got to go to the hospital, and then someone would comment and it's like, message me, babe, or something. It's like, it wasn't like that. I was just like, I think I posted saying I'm feeling a bit down or whatever, then I just deleted Instagram or something.
Did you actually delete it? Yeah.
Just deleted the app, because I didn't want to. Yeah, just makes it again.
You need to turn off my missus is the same. Every single time someone does anything on an app, she gets a notification. Like if anyone likes anything or anything, and you can see it coming notifications that just start streaming across.
Yeah,
I've seen it on your phone. Like,
mine's
needs to knock it on the head. That
because it just makes you just look and check. Doesn't it?
So it's a good idea deleting it. Yeah.
So I just deleted it for a few days, and then. I think it might have only been deleted 5 or 6 days, but it was enough that I was back walking again and I felt a bit better in myself. Mate, you'd sent me a couple of books. I had people...
Really good book in there, Chris Voss, The Negotiation.
Now,
Is it? Yeah. Never Split the Difference, yeah.
Yeah. So, mate, that was really nice just to know, fucking hell, Tom's thought on there. That was good. And then I think people who've got my number seeing me and rang me, and I think we forget just because everyone's so accessible now through Twitter, you could tweet Barack Obama if you wanted. If you're lucky, you got a reply. Everyone's so accessible. I think like it made me appreciate how important a phone call was. It's just someone ringing you. All right, mate. Just ring and see how you're doing. You're all right.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. But you're a bit taken aback at first.
Yeah.
But when I was feeling proper fed up and isolated and just lonely and just a bit sorry for myself. Like, I had a few emails, people were emailing me saying, I know you're not on social media now, so I thought I'd drop you an email. How are you doing? Listen, I'm here if you want to chat to a stranger. Like, fucking hell, was massive. So a big thank you to everyone who messaged and to yourself as well for the books.
Oh yeah, no worries, yeah.
And that's what I mean. Sometimes I get that after like motivational talks. People say, oh, you're so motivational, how can I get out of my little rut that I'm in? And I say to people, fuck me, I still feel fed up and I still get into ruts.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a constant, I wouldn't say battle, but it's just a constant thing that you have to try and maintain, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's like I remember I had a guy on the other podcast I used to do. I can't for the life of me remember his name, but he wrote a book called The Motivation Myth, and it's so like it really comes like motivation unless it comes in like sugar rushes. Do you know what I mean? It's like a lot of people who go to your talks will probably straight afterwards get this sugar rush of like, and rightly so, I can conquer the world, I can do anything, but it's just like it's keeping that maintaining that like baseline level, which is hard to do for no matter if you're a motivational speaker like you, or if you're someone who works in an office, or if you're a gardener or whoever. It is
mate, I kind of, not like saying I get motivated by my own talks, but sometimes I'm feeling a bit like, and then I'll go and do a talk, and then hopefully the energy I'm giving out, people then get energized, and I kind of get energy from them.
Yeah.
And I sometimes come out of my talks being like, right, come on, let's fucking do it. And then I'll get home, and then I'm like, oh fucking hell, I just have a cup of tea and eat a few biscuits, and then I'll do those emails later, and so I completely get it.
But yeah, it's it is. Mate, I'm glad those books helped anyway.
Mate, even just the thought of it, like, do you know what I mean? So it was really nice, and I think that probably comes into maybe what a lot of people are going through now. I think the biggest thing, what I got from my little week of being fed up, was like ring someone.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gutted about the football now being off now. And,
just before you say that, I feel like this conversation is just constant. It's like we're just like trying to. Corona's sort of creeping in. We're recording this on, what's the date today? Let me find out the date.
It's like 3 days away from it going out.
Friday the 20th of March.
We could say something about it now and it'll be completely worthless come Monday.
We were going to have he hasn't got back to me. Well, he has got back to me, but we were going to have a virologist on from Liverpool University talking about Corona, but in hindsight now, I don't know if I can be asked.
No, I know. Should we get the 5 minutes of Corona talk out the way?
Yeah.
It fucking hit me hard, to be honest. I reckon financially I've lost about 8 or 9 grand. That I would have had coming in over the next kind of couple of months. Is gone. A few months, gone. I got an Airbnb in Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
That's all been cancelled.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of money kind of decorating that, doing all that up. That's all gone. So financially, it's made me a bit unhappy. What else is done?
But also, it like now, it's what I find what's annoying is, and what probably obviously there's bigger issues in this, but for you, it's like there's a waiting game now because you just there's no end time of on the 2nd of May we can all kick back in, and then this.
Well, I was meant to be going into not only financially, it's hit me, and I'm thankfully I'm not going to become homeless from it, so I'm not going to moan too much about the financial impact, but it has, like, it's fucking hit me hard financially. And the scary bit about it going forward is schools potentially might not open until September. I was meant to be doing 4 speaking gigs next week just in schools, so
it's done.
That's no work in schools until at least September. I've had 6 or 7 corporate gigs cancel on me, and they're the kind of big earners for me. They're all gone. And the problem is, even when this corona stuff is finished, our company's then going to have the money to pay little old Andy to come in and do a talk when they're trying to balance the books from all the money they've lost.
Yeah.
So not only am I getting cancelled gigs now, this could hit me, not just me, but I mean people in my kind of industry for the next couple of years. A company's going to have the budgets to bring in speakers.
Mate,
I don't know. So it's
such a perpetuating cycle. Like you forget.
It's worrying.
Like so we were recording this on Friday the 20th of March, and this really kicked off, didn't it, on Monday?
In England, yeah.
In the UK. So I mean that's what 4 or 5 days, and it feels like the world's fucking crumbling. Yeah. You forget, don't you? Like I remember looking out of our office, there was a shredding company. When I was on the phone to you, and you just like, of course, no one's going to be shredding paper, and then that has an impact on the guy who drives the wagon to collect you just forget how interlinked like everything is.
Yeah.
If there is one thing, and I hate to be like gloating, but if there's one thing that I'm not slightly pleased about, of course not, but is the fact that this is going to sound.
I'm waiting for what's coming in.
Is I mean, this is the greatest respect. Is Instagram people who take photos and get paid for it. There's something that inside of me that realizes that is so that thinks like you think you're important, but you're fucking not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
That is the one. It sounds so. I hate to gloat in someone's, but
yeah, a bit bitter in that sense, but I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, there is actually more important things in the world, and this is the perfect showcase to say actually your little standing there with you fucking whatever new gym gear on isn't actually that important. Yeah. So finance, and again, though, I feel bad moaning about financially because there's people who are losing jobs, and there's people who are having to let people go, make people redundant, and we've got friends who've been on the podcast, who own restaurants and shops, and you got Jockey from San Alpino, and we've had Paddy on, who's got a couple of restaurants and bars. Yeah. We've got the Heritage restaurant on Castle Street. We've all closing, and it's.
I know Lee Butler's doing some like online Facebook.
He's doing like
stuff.
home. Yeah, he
does big events, doesn't he? He's
got big events on plan for the summer. Lee's going to be hit by it. So I'm kind of gutted from a personal point of view for my financial kind of implications for the next 6 to 18 months. But I've got friends who are suffering as well, and it's just so fucking shit. It's just the money side of things, like to one side. From a mental health point of view, for me personally, up until I had Albert, I hated Christmas. Ever since my mum died, just because my mum loved Christmas, like she was just such a big kid. So when my mum died, like I went from kind of being 11, having my mum kind of, I was still like, oh fucking hell, Christmas. Then my mum dies, and then when I'm 12, I'm suddenly helping me dad put the presents under the tree, and so I went from being a kid to then being an adult sorting Christmas. So I've never really enjoyed it. I enjoy it more now with Alba, but it's still a bit. And I've never really liked New Year since my mum passed away. New Year's a funny one. Some people like it and some people don't.
Yeah, I quite enjoy it actually.
Yeah. So I've never really liked New Year. And then February is the anniversary of getting blown up, and the anniversary of one of my friends, Mick Lasky, who was killed in Afghanistan a couple of weeks after I was injured. So February is a bit fucking hell. So it's a bit of a shit start to the year, I always think, for like just a few events that go on. And then it gets to April. Spring is like, it's the first day of spring today, actually, 20th March.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So spring kind of hits the end of March. The weather starts getting a bit better.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
And weather has a big impact on you. Especially getting up in the morning, walking my dog, and it's fucking cold, it's pitch black, it's raining, it's windy, it's horrible. So you get to the end of March, spring, the weather starts picking up. It's the Grand National, my favourite 3 days of the year. That kind of goes on.
Yeah.
You've then got Liverpool tend to be doing quite well, you know, comes to the European competitions. Hopefully they're still in the Champions League, they're still in the Cups, they're in for the league.
Yeah.
You know, you're out watching Liverpool every weekend. I had tickets for Glastonbury. My dad had retired, so we planned to go to Chester races, Haydock. We had a few days out planned. You know, summer ahead of hopefully Liverpool being champions, and suddenly it's all fucking gone. Today my gym closed.
Is it properly closed now?
Yeah, because it's a council gym. It's closed.
Right. Yeah, knocked it, yeah.
And it's like, so from, again, purely selfish point of view, and I know people might be thinking, oh, there's such bigger issues, and I know there are, but I'm talking about just for me for a minute. All the little things that you have going on, I'm working towards that, and I can't wait for that, and, you know, it's fucking gone.
Gone.
And I think mentally, from like a mindset, and just, that's so important to have little targets, right, come on, we've got that out the way, let's focus on this now, and you know, got that to look forward to. And that's the big problem, telling people to stay indoors. Like I mentioned before, I was so fed up after Vegas. Thankfully I had you and friends messaging me and sending me stuff. But if you're going to tell people now for months on end, there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know, are everyone going to be as lucky as me to have someone calling? And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. My paramotoring's cancelled. Fucking
hell, yeah.
So looking forward to that. Yeah, $2,000. So I can rearrange it, but I don't know when I can rearrange it for.
Have you lost money on it, or
no?
Fuck.
There's a wedding I was going to in June as well in Spain. They'll find out in a week's time whether to go ahead with it or not.
It's literally
like you
everything.
Forget, yeah,
everything.
But it's not only like everything that like outside of work that people have got planned. It's work as well. It's like it's everything. You forget, don't you? You forget how everything, without meaning to repeat myself, how interlinked like everything is. What a massive impact. Even people, I know some people don't like football. Some people love it. You know, we both love it, and so. I mean, just an impact, like the food banks that Liverpool do, and other football clubs, every single sport, you know, boxing. I know I saw Eddie Hearn talking about it. It's
Do you
just,
think the money Sky must be losing on advertising?
The amount of direct debits people will just go after Sky Sport. I mean, it's quite funny actually, because whenever I put Sky Sports News on, you think, I mean, fair play for filling an agenda. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Fair play for finding some content to talk about.
I don't have Sky. What have they been putting on? Just highlights of stuff.
Yeah, and just I don't know how TalkSport Radio are doing it. I think I listened to it before, and they were having some interview about. But I mean, how they're filling the content is madness.
I'm like. And I know we spoke about this for a bit now, and we've not actually mentioned the serious health implications, which that may make us sound horrible, but I'm more worried about friends and businesses and people losing homes and stuff, and
than a virus. Yeah,
it sounds terrible, and I'm sorry if anyone's got loved ones who are sick and stuff. But for me, like, people's livelihoods are gonna be massively impacted, and that's really sad and really scary. That's the saddest bit for me.
Definitely. What was I going to say then about the virus? Mate, I couldn't agree. And I think people have lost their head a little bit, and I think it's all me. The media isn't helping.
No.
Watching the news, but I said to you before, my missus watching the news, just fucking turn it off, because it's gonna. Honestly, if people just sat there at home doing nothing, which. Ultimately, everyone is watching the news. Your head's going to be battered. You're not going to be able to, think straight. You're going to be like, do normal things. I'm going out. I was going to go. I went to the pub, rightly or wrongly. I don't care.
I said that to my dad the other day. I said, at what point will it be where you start getting frowned upon if you go out?
Ultimately, it's still open, so I'm going
to go for a beer with my dad today.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's like Friday afternoon. Who knows how long we're going to be allowed out for. I'm going for a beer with him.
It's a nice day.
I wonder if you're going to get kind of looked upon and be like, stay indoors, you know. And you know what? It's not funny again, but how crazy this has been. You know, you think about terrorism, you think about war, you think about this is down from a bug.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Has brought the the world's economy crashing because of an illness.
Yeah. If there's ever going to be, if you're ever thinking of an occupation, I think being a virologist and dealing with viruses is going to be where the money's at.
Oh my God, I literally was thinking about doing an Instagram story yesterday when I was in my car, and I was like, you know, any kids who ask me questions after my talks and they say, you know, how'd you get 10,000 followers? How'd you get a blue tick? What'd you do? Fuck the blue ticks, right? Go and be a doctor, go and be a researcher, go and be a microbiologist, go and be you know, you could be the legend who fucking saves the world right now. If you're a kid who's just went, you know, a brain box and just said, actually, you know, I'm 25, I went to uni, I've done this, and actually I've just come up with a cure for the corona.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, your Instagram followers would fly up then. The amount of chicks would be sliding into your DMs. You'd be flying.
Have you heard any conspiracy stories?
I'm not into them. I love hearing a good one.
I do as well, to be honest.
But I am feeling, only because, and again, this so actually, I've got a friend who's in the medical profession, and she's not a doctor in that sense, but she sells like medical supplies. So she's got a lot of friends who are heavily involved in surgeons and doctors and stuff, their clients. And I just put on something saying, I think I was drunk the other day, and said, is this a conspiracy? What do we all think? The vote was like about 60-40 conspiracy. And the only reason I think that is because, well, sorry, before I get into my thoughts on it, she rang me from Switzerland. It's a good friend of mine, Ruth. And she said, listen, it's fucking not a conspiracy. It's this is why it's happened. This is why we're doing this. This is what's happened in Italy. Da-da-da. And she went through and she explained it really well. And I totally understand the rationale behind it all. I just fail to understand when you start seeing there's no more cases of in the China province where it started. You know, shops are now reopening. China's market is now suddenly on the rise again. The rest of the world's economy is fucked. And this all happened a couple of months after Trump kind of forced on his trade deal.
Trade war with China.
You suddenly start going, this is a bit weird.
Some mad one that Sam Tripoli, he's a comedian, but he has a podcast. It was mental, this. Something to do with, and I'm not going to explain it very well here, but Kobe Bryant.
Fuck off. You can't start a conspiracy about Corona with Kobe Bryant.
No, this is what, right? This is, I am sort of, most of conspiracies I completely ignore, and this one included, I ignore, because like the 9/11 thing, I cannot imagine a meeting room where, and I've been in plenty of meetings where you start to introduce yourself, and I just cannot imagine a meeting with 9/11 starting with, right, this might sound a bit mental, but how about this for an idea? You know, in front of 12 people, the senior. So I'm not I do like listen to them. So apparently, Kobe Bryant was suing some pharmaceutical company, right? Over,
I can't believe I'm even letting you explain this one.
Over a number of drugs that were that had opioids in them to make them more addictive, so people would use them, right? And I'm not going to explain this very well because I can't really remember it because my mind was blown. But so apparently some pharmaceutical, in fact, I'm going to even stop there because I can't fucking remember it properly. But it was something
Where
to do with.
Where can people access it? Because I want to watch it.
I'll send you the link. It was on a Joey Diaz podcast with Sam Tripoli, released on Wednesday. It was something to do with Kobe Bryant. Bill Gates owns the patent of some virus vaccine. It was mental. It was proper mental.
But the way you say, you can't imagine a meeting room where everyone comes round and, you know, all the world leaders or all the most important people sit round and come. I don't think it's like that. I'm not saying if this corona thing is man-made and it's manufactured and stuff, I don't think it's a case of Trump, you know, everyone sitting down going, listen, this is what we'll do. We'll play it out like this. I'll say this, you say that. I don't think it's as big as that. I just think it's a small number who do it.
But I just can't imagine people going, like, if you knew about 9/11, I can't imagine you just not even, like, I can't even imagine not even tell my missus going, listen, this is completely fucked up, right? But what we did is X, Y, Z.
Mate, the horrible people in the world.
I know. I just can't. Yeah,
They're not all as nice as you, maybe. I've know people
yeah,
who are horrible people.
yeah, but I just can't imagine it. Just people not like. You look at the amount of whistleblowers that come out. Like,
yeah, I mean, when I was in Afghanistan, things happened, and I've told him now, but at the time, I wouldn't be telling my dad because I wouldn't want to worry him. I was on the phone to my dad on a satellite phone, and a fucking rocket was flying over my head, and I went, "Oh, Dad, someone's used the phone. I'm gonna have to shoot it to that." Put the phone down, ran, threw my body armor and helmet on, and then started fucking shooting back at the Taliban. It's that, but on a much crazier scale, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I just can't see. Yeah. I've just never been. Look, I love listening to them as much as anyone else, especially the mental ones, because you think, how the fuck has someone
come up with that?
Puzzled this together?
The only reason as well, the other thing, mate, we are so I can never say that word. Technological. Yeah.
Technological.
Advanced.
Yeah.
You know, we can do so many amazing things, but yet when something like this happens, everyone's like, "Oh, we're fucked. It's gonna take X amount of weeks to get this sorted and that sorted and stuff." And it's like, I just sometimes think, how is it like? Why can't we do something? Do you know what I mean? You can put a man on the moon. You can, I can, like I said before, you can. There's now a platform where you can just fucking tweet the president if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
I can buy bloody £1 million of virtual Bitcoin money if I wanted to, but there's not a vaccine, or there's not enough money to buy equipment to save people.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's just all a bit mad. And like I said before, from a personal point of view, I'm more worried about friends and family and the economy side of things.
Yeah.
That's where it's hurting people the most. The people in power know that.
Yeah, if you're bombarded 24 hours with corona this, corona that, COVID-19 this, COVID-19 that, and then you can't even talk to anyone face to face, and you're not on the news, your head's battered, your head's fallen off because there's no bread at the shops, no toilet roll. Yes, and you've got nothing to look forward to.
I don't think it's this. They're trying to kill off pensioners and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's none of that shite. I think it's much bigger. And again, I don't think Boris Johnson's sitting in the room going, "Oh yeah, we knew this was going to happen." I do literally just think China we said, look, we'll take the hit. We might lose 5,000, 10,000 people, but that's worth it because the economic kind of price people are going to pay, America's going to pay, will be far greater. So, I don't know how they've fucking done it or anything, but I just fail to understand the overreaction to it all. And again, that might sound, people might be listening and going, "Oh, my granddad's got, smoked all his life and he's going to be..." And the other thing to this, which makes me sound even worse, so I'm going to apologise again.
Jesus.
But I seen a thing on it was Robert Franklin. Do you follow him on Instagram? He's funny. He's like this big juicehead, and he like screams in the car. He's quite funny. Anyway, he basically was pissed off because the gym was closed, and he's like,
"Was that the video you showed me before?"
No, American guy, and he's like, he loves going to the gym and stuff, and he's always like, people message him and say like, "Oh, my girlfriend's just finished me," and he's like, "Go to the fucking gym, get a pump on, go and pick up all the chicks." He's funny, like this mock account. But anyway, he was just like pissed off because the gym had closed, and he made a good point, and also the guy on the Joe Rogan podcast made this point. If you are fit and healthy, I'm not talking about underlying health issues like, you're born with or you've had a transplant. I don't mean anything like that. I mean, if you're fit and healthy, touch wood, 99%, you've got nothing to worry about. If you haven't looked after yourself though, and you are fat and don't go to the gym and smoke and don't go outdoors and don't exercise and don't do any of those things, and you're a bit worried, let this be a fucking wake-up call then for you to get yourself in shape. I'm not saying I hope you all die if you're not fit in it, but if you're fit and healthy, you go to the gym, you eat well, you exercise, you should be okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But people are like, "Oh God, it's..." Well, if you're a big fat bastard because you eat a chippy every night and you don't know where your fucking local gym is, like, whose fault? That sounds horrible, doesn't it? But like, whose fault is it?
There is some real learning thing, like, even, and this isn't the time for telling people what to do or what they should have done, because it is what it is. But even things like, having an emergency savings, that it's a fantastic. Look, some people live week to week, some people live day to day, and do you know what I mean? It's difficult, but if there is if there is something that even myself, do you know what I mean?
That's what I was one way for you to finish and say. Me, I always say, I've preached about it on the podcast, mate. I don't have a care in the world, because if I've got it, I'm gonna enjoy today.
Yeah.
And I'm to the point now where I'm like, fuck, like shit. What am I gonna do? All this work's been cancelled. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Whereas normally, I'm like that to Alba. She's like, oh, what do you want? And the sensible thing would be, I'll go to the supermarket, I'll buy something in for the week, and we'll have our breakfast. I'm going, come on, let's go to the cafe, let's go and do this, spending 20 quid on a breakfast, just because I'm like, let's just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, Vegas,
Yeah, Vegas. And now it's like, fucking hell, maybe, I need to have a bit more in reserve in case things like this happen. So, oh, mate, you're right, there's so many
learning
lessons and so many positives that will come out of it. Something as little as remembering to phone your mate who you don't hardly see, or like, your relative who you never speak to. Just how important a phone call is, to the more serious stuff of putting an extra bit a month away if you can. If you can,
100%. Even luckily I used to do my vape thing, but I've stopped now as well.
Really?
Yeah. Just that was just something
I think for me, gambling as well, like say, my gambling's well under control now, but I've not even been gambling, not even my little 20 quid anymore, just nothing, because
there's nothing to do.
Nothing to fucking gamble.
Can you not gamble on anything?
Fucking, I don't know.
I'm sure there's something you can find.
Probably the weather or something, I don't know, maybe still, but it has, I think it's going to be a funny kind of, and if you want to go into other conspiracy theories as well, isn't it funny, this is almost kind of the blueprint of how we can live. For example, in a year's time, something could happen, and the government kind of know now, look, we asked you to do it last year, just do it again. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've all self-isolated for 2 weeks, you need to do it again.
Yeah.
Like, people know now how they can live, as difficult as it may be.
Yeah, exactly. I saw something on Twitter which I think you might have liked or something, but it was, isn't it funny how we know who the most important workers are in the country? It's not hedge fund managers or bankers, it's like wagon drivers, all that lot.
It has been a real humbling experience, I think, isn't it? And like you said before, you joked about like the Instagram influencers. It's like, I think this has been a real realization period to be like, what do I do with my life? Like, am I really doing anything that positive in the world, apart from posing in exotic destinations? Like, as fantastic as a job that would be, and I probably would enjoy it for a little while, I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to think, okay, what do I want to give to the world, or what do I want to be remembered by? I mean, how amazing would it be? I seen an Instagram video thing, and it was basically saying, the way they say it's better to give than receive. But then I think sometimes people give to receive in the hope that they think, I'm doing all these good deeds, one day it'll come back to me. Which, I'm not saying don't do the good deeds, but it's a bit selfish to only do it to think one day it'll return. And you think to yourself, imagine if you just done good deeds all your life and it never ever came back. Like, you still lived month to month, but you carried on doing these good deeds, and it never ever came round to kind of your winning the lottery or having your big house one day. You would have lived such a fulfilled life knowing that you've give so much. Even though you've give it in the hope that one day it's come for you, you probably would have enjoyed that bit more than if it ever did come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it's a great time now to realize, people to think, can I do more? When this is all said and done, can I maybe volunteer for the NHS or do something? Or can I give blood? Can I, give to the food banks more? Can I do this and do that? And I think, like you say, we're seeing now in society who the vulnerable are, who the important people are, and it's not it's not the people who we used to think are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also how fragile everything is. You forget, don't you, how just fragile. Just just one. It's like once the blocks start falling, they just start falling quickly. And it's but yeah, fuck it. Corona can suck my dick anyway. It's
one
done.
thing, One thing I got asked, someone said the amount of people who said no corona, so sorry we have spoke about it for however long we have. But someone said about travelling, and I put them onto the Dom Jolly one. But I think because travelling has been so affected, as we've just mentioned, from corona, someone asked me, where's the best place you've been, and the best place, and the place you'd like to go most? Because again, that's all affected. People had holidays booked and weddings and things, and literally you can't go fucking anywhere, can you?
In 2014, I did Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, Kuala, and Malaysia. And I'm trying to think where else I've been. I've been a few places with work as well. And I would say the one place... So I love Thailand. I think it's a fantastic place. I think you've been, actually, haven't you?
It's a very sore subject.
Oh, is it? All right.
I'm destined not to go. I booked 2 holidays to Thailand. First one I got blown up, and the second one my missus fucked me off. So I've not been.
So my favourite place is a little island called Koh Lanta in Thailand. It is by far the most beautiful place. It's not ruined. The problem with Thailand's incredible, and the tourists make it because Bangkok's just mental. Phuket's just mental, but it's becoming like the Spain of the East, if you know what I mean.
Just like loud Brits.
Because it's just so accessible now, and more people are going. And I remember going to PP, an island in Thailand, and the coral's fucked. It's ruined.
They've closed the one on the beach, haven't they?
Have they?
I'm sure they have. You know where the beach was filmed?
Oh right, yeah. So that's where is that? That's near PP actually, not a million miles away. Phuket's just mental. Bangkok is fun. What an incredible place! Like it's just
I need to go. Like
it's such a wicked place. I mean, when I went, so the first ever time I went, 2012, with some mates. We went for 3 weeks there. Travelled through Thailand, and that was it's just such a wicked place. But yeah, by far for me, the best place is Koh Lanta. Singapore was incredible.
That's where my dad wants to go next.
So expensive. They've handled the corona incredibly well.
Really?
Mate. They take a no, like they're not politically correct by any stretch of the imagination, but it kind of works for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put on, and I don't know how true this is because there's a lot of fake stuff going around at the moment, but they put on, if there was a thing with celebrities saying that they've got corona when they haven't really been tested for it, and a bit of fake sort of stuff, and it was anyone who says they've got corona and they haven't been tested and puts it on a public platform will get something like a 10,000 Singapore dollar fine and 3 lashes.
What?
Yeah. Apparently.
Wow.
That's mad. So they just said, it come from China, no Chinese. Sorry, no Chinese. You know, like that sort of approach, which is a bit, I mean, it's like...
Yeah, it's like racist, but yeah, it works for them. So
it works for them. Singapore is the most incredible
My dad wants to stay in that hotel, like, it's
Marina Bay
Sands.
Yeah, with the pool on the top.
That's his next little goal.
So expensive. Alcohol's so expensive. So many English-speaking Brits and who moved over there with companies. There's a huge amount of...
Brits normally can't speak English.
Yeah, sorry. Good point. There's a huge amount of corporations over there as well, which is like a lot of huge, big banks.
I always remember James Ketchell saying he loved Singapore.
Yeah, mate. It's just... And it's so clean. Everything just works. I said to my missus, this is one place I would just love to live. The weather's gorgeous. And then you can dart around to other countries really easily in Southeast Asia as well. There's so much money.
How important do you think, because it's one regret I have is not travelling more before I had Alba, because now I only really ever do 2 weeks before I miss it and want to come home. But with an ex-girlfriend, I got to go 2 weeks around South America. I've done that twice. Done Argentina, Brazil and Colombia on 2 separate occasions. How important, I already know how important it is for me, but how important would you say it is and advise people so when you're single, young, to go travelling, for example, Asia when you
So I think there's like a 2-forked approach here. So the first being is that if you get the opportunity, no matter what age you are, I suggest do it. 100% do it, because not only does it give you like if you're 21, it's such a fantastic opportunity to figure shit out, to understand how different economies work, to get a different perspective on life and how different people operate, because it might give you that, you know, that traveling might give you that actually a different way of looking at things. You know, you think of some of the ingenuity that happens in places like Thailand, how people have made a business out of, like, just, for example, selling, you know, flipping, like skydiving tickets and just things that just a different way of how you think, actually, I can make a business out of doing that. You know, they've got diving schools. You've got people who are on the street trying to sell tickets, you know, just that sort of like entrepreneurial sort of spirit, sort of, I think is really good. So, and
I'm not just talking going there with a bunch of lads just getting pissed every day, like travelling, as in
just
not going to work in Malia for 6 months. Do you know what I mean?
Just, and also the fact of when you don't know where you're going to stay the following day and you don't know how you're going to get there, there's at first there's a nervousness around that, but it becomes like, it's so exciting, and it gives you so much like ingenuity to figure things out and to think, well, actually, I've got this amount of money.
Grow up a little bit.
Yeah,
probably
of course,
the first time, haven't you, where you're having to sort shit yourself.
Definitely. So mate, it's such a great. We did it for, how long did I did it for 12 weeks, I think.
12 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 12 weeks, yeah. Saved up.
It's the only thing. Like an ex-missus of mine, she's fortunate. She's had a lot of help from her parents, but she's done like about a year. She's done like 2 years. Like the fucking life of Riley. But anyway, she's got to do that. And not I understand that everyone will get to. But there's one thing I always think, like, I'd love to have done a bit more of. Yeah.
And also, adding on from that is, so I went with my missus, and there was a lot of people who obviously go on their own.
Yeah.
And it always struck me how confident the people who went on their own start to be, because they have to make conversation with people.
Yeah.
They have to, like, they'll be sat on their own in a bar, and then they have to make because otherwise you're going to be on your own.
Not speaking to anyone.
You're not going to speak to anyone.
3 months, yeah.
So, like, the amount of people who were on their own travelling, who used to come up to me and my missus and go, "Oh, wait," and it would always stagger me how confident you become, because you got to be. Yeah.
One place I would love to have went and maybe stayed there, though not travelled, but actually give it a go of working there for 6 months, would be Queenstown in New Zealand. Any young person, I think, wants to go travelling, wants to kind of, like you say, all those things, grow in confidence and meet new friends and see different cultures and a different way of living. Maybe travel around Asia, Australia and stuff. But I would love to have, when I was younger, went, even after I got blown up and stuff and I never had no responsibility, I would have loved to have just worked in a bar or a ski shop or an adventure shop in Queenstown for 6 months. Small little town that's just an adrenaline junkie's paradise. It's fucking so many things to do.
And I bet the characters that go through there,
because it's like you're passing through the town and you're just seeing travellers all the time. You'd be, as a young lad, you'd be shagging fucking everything. You'd be meeting friends everywhere. You'd have no responsibility, and small, if like just bar work type thing. I just think, when I was in Queenstown, I was like, to be like...
Is that the best place you've been then?
For me, personally, yeah. I think Colombia was pretty amazing as well. But Queenstown was just, just because I love skiing, I love mountains, I love outdoors, I love jet skiing, I love water sports, I love everything. Whatever you want to do, you can do it.
I always think there's a few people at our work who, and it always surprises me. And obviously, some people are lucky to travel, some people aren't. But when people actually don't have a passport and they've never been outside the country, like, it's just, you forget, don't you? That, like,
and that's why it was a good question. Whoever asked me about traveling was because you forget, like, if traveling is something that you do all the time, and then suddenly say, the US is saying no one's coming here, or Europe saying no one's coming here.
It wants me.
It's like, fucking hell.
I want to do it more.
Yeah.
I want to. Mate. It's.
And one place where I'd love to go would be South Africa.
Yeah, a lot of people rave on about South Africa.
South Africa's meant to be
Cape
amazing.
Town and
doing all the safaris and stuff.
Definitely.
I would love to do all that.
I think obviously a lot of people are saying that once this is all blown over, the amount of travelling that people will do and the amount of just because you've had this incubation period of doing fuck all, it'll be so good.
Yeah, I think mate, people will have the moment that I always have. Like again after my talks, it sounds so corny and so cheesy, but when people say, "What do you want to do now? You know, what's your next big challenge?" And a lot of the time I just say, just want to be happy now, to be honest. I just want to have my little girl. I've got my little girl. I want to be a good dad. I want to go to the park. I want to walk my dog. I want to just go to the gym and go and watch the match and just want to be happy. And I think a lot of people will feel that thing where it's like, walking down the beach, walking my dog down the beach, and it's, you know, people will have those moments where, or they're catching up with friends and you're all just sitting there in maybe just a little bar on a Sunday afternoon having a few drinks and you're all back together for the first time in weeks or months. Yeah. And you'll all just go, "Oh God, isn't this good?" Yeah. So grateful to have just
so
these
grateful, yeah. That's the right word, yeah, grateful, yeah.
I do that once I've been off my leg after this infection. Mate, I walked my dog and oh my God. It was like I won the lottery. Yeah. I think, mate, there was no amount of money someone could have given me would have made me feel better than I put my leg back on and I went, "Come on, let's go for a walk."
Yeah, mate, there's not many times, unless you break your leg or do something, that you've gone from being completely active to just, like it's that. All gone like that. Yeah.
So I think, maybe when people can just jump on a plane again or just, you know, or there's no fear and anxiety of, "Oh God, is he coughing over there?" And just you can just go out and enjoy yourself again. I'm hoping people will be grateful. Yeah. And maybe don't take things for granted again.
Yeah, it's a good point, mate. Really good point. I think we actually have to dart, don't you? Because
what time are we on? So go to anything else you want to ramble on about?
No, I feel like the overarching cloud over anything I talk about. Like I've been on the phone, it's really hard not to talk about the C word
because it comes back on everything,
and it is like Brexit on speed. You know, it's like it's everywhere. That travel question is a good question, actually. The one place I'd really like to go is I'd love to do. Like you've done Vegas and parts of North America and a bit of a road trip. That's what I'd really, really like to do. Like Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah. Like Yosemite, is it?
Yosemite, yeah.
The one weird thing about America, I think, is it's bigger than Europe, I think, isn't it? And it's like the way a fella from Portugal is not the same as a fella from Russia. That's what America's like. You assume because it's America, everyone's the same. When I was in Vegas, like, they are all so different, and it's mad to think that they're all governed by one law, or I know it's slightly different laws in different states, but you know, and they're all so different. We sat at the bar and spoke to this guy. He was an ex-pilot, like a private commercial pilot, and he had an injury, got pensioned off, and he now lives in wherever he lives, but he's got a camper van and a car, and he'll just follow the weather, and he. Not necessarily follow the weather. He followed. It wasn't the weather. It was like the seasons or something he'd done or something. It was like he spends his winters in one place, his summers in another, and stuff like that. Anyway, and he drove his camper van just onto the outskirts of Vegas for like 3 months, and every day just drive. He's like pensioned off, this pilot. He's like 60 odd, and he just drove into Vegas every day and just sat around the bars and stuff and just on his own. He's like been married 3 times, a real character. And
you always meet some characters.
He's a super character. Yeah. But you know, you speak to most people, and most people think Trump's a dick. He loved him.
Really? Yeah.
Oh my God!
You forget that he's president. Because
you forget what I mean because he's popular to half the people there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it was just so mad to think, like, you know, you just assume everyone thinks Trump's a dick. And I'm sitting at this bar and we got chatting again, like you say. You know, he's on his own. He's at the bar, and me and my dad was standing there. He was just like, "Oh, what brings you boys to town?" And it's like, "Oh, my dad's a fireman, he's just retired." And then before you know, "Oh, I've retired, I've done this." And then before you know it, an hour later, we're there. Yeah. And he loved Trump. Like, he thought it was the greatest thing for the economy. He was racist. He was talking about the Mexicans and stuff. And you're just like, this is mad. Like,
It does help if you've got an English accent, I think, in America. Yeah. And especially in Canada, because when I was over there with work, I only said to the barman or barwoman or whatever, and then someone said, "Oh, whereabouts in England for it?" Do you know what I mean? It does. They love that accent, don't they?
Yeah, And it was so and then you'll speak to someone else and they're like, you know, Trump's a dick, you know, and stuff, and it's just mad, I think, when you go there and stuff, and it's like,
yeah, because
it's so divided, like,
especially in even the media in the US, I imagine is a lot of it's anti-Trump, and a lot of obviously over here is anti-Trump. Even on Twitter, it's anti-Trump. So you do forget that, like you said, over more than half would have voted for him to, you know, it's like during this election that went, which seems like a different millennium ago, in December. Like I said to you, like I was looking on my Twitter and I thought, and I said, yeah,
Labour, didn't you?
100%, they'll smash it. But it's just because that hemisphere that I'm in, you know, so that's what travel does as well.
Yeah.
Just that
it broadens your horizons.
Different people.
And you realise that, again, growing up in Liverpool, like, again, I've never voted, but I would obviously vote Labour. But rightly or wrongly, that's just what my view is, and it'll always be that now, just because I'm just in this Labour bubble. You go travelling and you see other things, you might go, actually, you know what? I don't really agree with everything from my hometown. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Whether that's right or wrong, and I think that's what travelling is great for. That it does open up that horizon. What I think with this whole C word again, we saw the best and the worst in people. You know, one thing I fucking hate. I hate politics at the best of times, but I hate political spin on stuff. I don't particularly like Boris Johnson. I think he's a knob. But how anyone can blame him, or like he knows about as much of this coronavirus as me and you.
Yeah.
He is being told what to say and what to do, isn't he?
Yeah.
By his medical advisors and stuff. And I've not seen it yet, but I swear to God, if anyone starts going, oh, if fucking Corbyn was in, or Labour was in, or if this was in, it's fucking bullshit. Trying to put a political spin on a problem that probably, whether you love them or hate them, they're probably just trying to get rid of it like we all are.
As quickly as possible,
And then you just see people putting that spin on things, don't you? And you're like, fucking...
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, so it's Friday today, Monday, so 5 days. We've only had this for sort of 5 days.
So it'll be a week, let's say, when we're listening to this.
If you think about it.
And they reckon we've got 12 weeks.
Anyway, the podcast is continuing anyway. We might try next week, just bash out a load.
Yeah.
I'd suggest we don't even release it every Monday, just...
If we can get a few banked in, then let's just give the people what they want.
Just get it out.
But that's the other thing. Are people going to want to sit down? Hopefully they will.
Yeah, people will listen when they're running and...
No, but I mean guests. Otherwise it'll just be me and you rambling on.
Yeah, the guy who we're going to have on, don't know if we are or not, I don't know if it can be asked talking about it, is that'll be done over Skype.
Yeah,
because he doesn't want to. But we'll see.
I don't know whether I can be asked listening to the nitty gritty of it all. All I know is it's fucking shit. Yeah, that's like, what else do we need to know?
Exactly. Yeah,
really.
Yeah, it would have been good about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago when it was bombarded. I think we have missed the boat on it. So
with that in mind, if you've got any topics for me and Tom, any guests you think you'd like to listen to, then probably give us a shout. It'd be a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. I might start tweeting. We might continue doing. We might, if we can. I suppose there's no harm with just doing it live as well. You know, like on YouTube Live and things like that.
God knows if that's even working now.
I don't know.
We did try and do it on my.
I think your phone might have died.
Instagram
actually.
Live something. Yeah. But we're trying to do some live and stuff. See how that goes.
And
keep listening to the pod and
keep showing out. Yeah. Stay safe. Yeah.
Don't let the corona
sounds like fucking... Have you seen that film Contagion?
No.
It's mad, mate.
I know, it's like, stay safe out there, wash your hands. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I've just said it.
I'm continuing my life.
I'm going for a pint. I'm going for a pint in about 4 hours. I'd say come and join me, but you're listening in the past. So this will be in the past, but yeah.
Right. Thank you, mate.
Cheers.